have up next a woman I actually met at AMA this past year, and I was a smitten kitten from the get-go. I just had the best conversations. She was ripping around on this tiny little bike. What was that thing?
It's a DS80.
DS80?
DS80.
Oh, it's just the coolest little bike. She was ripping around everywhere on that thing, and I just had a blast talking with her. So I've been super just excited to keep visiting down here in Louisville, hanging out with Nicole, and just learning more about her and her motorcycle life. And we had a good ride a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And just had a blast. So I'm real excited that Nicole's joining us here on stage. And just if you aren't familiar with Nicole, you will be very shortly. Basically, she has hit her head really hard and just ain't been right since. And now all she does is ride motorcycles. So if you wouldn't mind, please welcome to the stage, Nicole Young.
Hey everybody. So that bike she met me, that's the OG Kid Killer. It's a 1981 DS80 Suzuki. Back in the day, it went 65 miles an hour in a field. So as soon as the guy told me that, I was like, I gotta have it. So that's what I was riding around on. If I have to be honest about my obsession with motorcycles though, it's not originally my own. It is spawned from my brother, who, he used to call them motor hickeys when he was like 3. He had like I'm sure you all had the diecast when he had a green and blue one. I remember them both, and he used to ride around my motor hickeys. He loved them, but they were big. Like to scale, there's no way a child is gonna ride those. So it's like I gotta give up on that. I can't ride it till I'm an adult. Okay, well fast forward to his first day of first grade where he gets to ride the bus home with the big kids, and he has like the actual school schedule. Where we grew up, kindergarten was only half day, so they rode a completely different bus, and they get out at like noon, and they'd be home doing whatever. It's kind of fun, but lame. Anyway, he came home from school that first day. I was Ferris Bueller sick. Yeah, I wasn't there for that. He came in on the other hand, and he was throwing his book bag and storming. I was like, "What's wrong with you?" He goes, "Mom and Dad lied to us." I was like, "About what this time?" And he's like, "They make motorcycles for kids. Did you know they make motorcycles for kids too?" What are you talking about? And then I remember, I'm like, oh shit. It's his first day on the big bus. He rode past the underground house. We had an underground house on our route, and there was a kid, David. He was like 2 years older than me, and he had a dirt bike. And Logan saw the dirt bike, and he was like pissed. Like this whole time, like I was just gonna get a horse because I can't ride a dirt bike. They don't make them my size. Yeah, thank God he got over the horse phase because I was not there for that either. They're fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry y'all horse people, but motorcycles are way fucking cooler. Like, Jesus. And like all that bounce, like, get off of it. Anyway, that's another story. Anyway, yeah, so he discovered motorcycles, and that was that. Like, from then on, like, no more horses. All his allowance money was going towards buying motorcycles and things like that. And by proxy, like, I got to ride the motorcycles, and therefore I fell in love with them too. The first one he bought was a little Honda 50. It had the actual handlebars, not the big gay ones. It had real handlebars. 3 gears straight down, just give it some gas. It was a lot of fun. We tore the shit out of that thing. Somebody wrote it into the pop-up camper. Oops. I mean, how do you run into pop-up? It's a full-size pop-up. I mean, she like wrote it into the pop-up camper hard. Like Dad was like, I'm gonna take a bike in here. Like, you call her mom. Like, yeah, it was bad. Yeah, we didn't get sued on that one. And then there was the time they Tom Sawyered the shit out of me. Them fucking assholes, I swear. Oh, we were 9. We were too big to be riding a little 50 at this point. We should have upgraded. And they were like, oh, you've never done this? Oh, this is why we don't play with you. All right, so like, this is what you gotta do. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, and I peel off, and I'm like, okay, so what they told me I needed to do was ride this little fucking bike as fast as I could. 1, 2, 3 gears. As soon as I get it third gear, and I hear the engine max out, I ram on that front brake. Yeah. Oh, yes, I across the street, she was an ER nurse, which was awesome because like she gave me so many stitches. But like she got into the habit, instead of watching TV, she would just sit there. I mean, they had a big picture window, and she would just watch us, like just watch. And I wish she had put a camera on, but yeah. So she saw me like third gear, hit the brake, and end over, and the bike landed on my leg, and when they put it off me, they put off like a layer of skin, so I got to walk around being like super cool. And like I had no idea what the parts, I still don't know what parts on the motorcycle are. Like if you've ever been around me, I break them, I ride them, I do not fix them. If you let me touch your bike with a wrench, I guarantee I will break it. Like just don't. Like I'll ride it and I'll break it, but if you let me wrench it, I'll definitely break it. But yeah, so I walked around all summer telling everybody the carburetor burnt my leg. Yeah, that's how much I knew. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty cool. Yeah, the carburetor did that. And they're like, yeah, carburetor just jumped out there and bit you while I was like spurting gas and things. And I'm like, yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, so anyway, that was one oops. Oh, and then there was the other one. Oh, when we finally did upgrade to a slightly bigger bike, we had a Honda 80. And so, like, I don't know, dirt bikes, they have, like, small exhaust pipes when you're sitting on the seat, but it gets bigger as it goes back behind you, right? Oh yeah. It gets bigger as it goes back behind you. So, like, we're riding double one day, and we discovered this new we had, like, 20 acres to just play on. We had a track and all kinds of fun stuff to, like, break our necks on. I had 25 concussions before I even started playing rugby. No, seriously. Like, God. And then I played rugby for 20 years. Yeah. And then got hit by a car. A whole ass car. Anyway, we were in the field, and he saw this little hill, and he's like, I want to jump that hill. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm standing there, I'm like, okay, just drive off. I'm tall enough, you can just drive off. And he's like, I don't think it'll work. I'm like, oh, that'll work, it'll go, just fine. And he's like, okay. And he takes off, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, I went and sat in the creek. My mom was right there, and she was just like, come on in the house. Yes, I got some burn cream from last time this happened. Come on, stupid. Yeah, so there was that one. And then there was probably the funniest one, the one that she likes is the same motorcycle, this little Honda 80, and Logan had went down the street to play, and he was actually going to try and spend the night, which was funny because he never spent the night anywhere. But I was like, he's not here, I'm going to ride the motorcycle, which was stupid because I had my own. I had a four-wheeler that was like a 230. It was bored over. It was badass. I could do like wheelies, and I jumped like the dam and shit. I could jump over whole-ass cars, and I'm like, I'm going to go ride his dinky little 80. Anyway, so, of course, I break it. Whatever. He rides slow. Like, okay, he had a chance when he was like 7, when he had his little Honda 50 to ride it on the road, and like my mom was behind him, and he only had to go from my uncle's house to my dad's house. And yes, we're very country. Yes, my dad lives next to his brother. Anyway, and so like he only got up to second gear, and I was like, dude, you were on the road. You could have like ripped it. He's like, no, second gear was fast enough. And I'm just like, whatever. Are we even related? Like, where did you buy? He seriously is the mailman's kid, Mom. Like, what the fuck? Like, my dad's a drag racer. Like, he's got NOS cans in the house. Like, and like, we grew up with like all these trophies and like big giant checks and shit. So it's like, yeah, I want to go fast, Dad. Like, he'd already said some shit I've been saying for forever. Anyway, so back to the 80. When he left, there's a spot that we jump, and he was always like, only jumping in second gear. Only jumping. I'm like, here you are with second gear again, you fucking pansy. I swear to God, I'm over your second motherfucking gear. So I put my little helmet on and stripped it up. I was like, I'm gonna jump this motherfucker, and I'm gonna jump it in third gear like a fucking boss. So I'm like, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, you know that like weightless feeling you get when you take off for a second? You know, it's like the earth can't even hold you anymore. You're just like up there. You're just like floating. You're just like, yeah. And then I look around and I'm like, I usually land like That bush is looking a lot closer than normal. Oh, motherfucker. This is why he said that here. That son of a bitch. You always gotta tell me the why. You can't just make up a rule and not tell me the why. I'm gonna go and discover the why on my own. Seriously, I got a 14-page arrest record for discovering whys. So anyway, I fucking landed like a fucking boss, and I was still on the motherfucker, and I was like, ying, ramming on everything, trying to get it to stop, and I was still trying to slide it sideways, and I fucking couldn't, and I hit this tree head on, and it had a Y. Thank God it had a Y. And I flew right through it, like I was shot out of a cannon, like Evel Knievel, my little helmet visor, and there's this grass going like under me, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking cool, it's gonna hurt though. I finally hit the ground, and I slid, and I got up, and I had grass stuck in my visor, and I was like, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm in my little Umbro soccer shorts. I don't know if you guys remember Umbro from back in the 90s. And so I'm just like sitting there, and I got my like big combat boots on, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna be so pissed. And I look at the bike, it's still running, so I'm like, yes. So I pull it out of the tree. I pull it out of the tree. And I'm like, still running. And I look at it, and like that fender is just crushed. I mean, it's still like hanging on there, but it's so sad. It's like, hey, I'm a fender. I don't know, do you guys remember that? There was a movie, was it Slight Bike Kid or something, where the bike was alive and it would like talk to him and stuff, and like I tried to sell it to Logan when he got, I'm like, look, it's like that bike, it talks to me. He's like, I fucking hate you. I mean, like, I broke it so much, like, it was still like a rectangle shape, but it was completely shattered inside. So it's like, we couldn't even like zip tie it to itself to make it a thing. And like, you know, me being a lesbian, I realized like lesbians have like an affinity for tape. Like we love duct tape. We especially love duct tape. But like any kind of tape, I'm like, yes, let me tape it. So like, I pull it out of the tree and I'm like, I can fix this with tape. He will never know. And so because I didn't want to ride it because I broke some shit off on the front of it, like some cables and levers and shit were like dangling, so I was like, I can't really ride it because I don't know what that shit does. I just break them. So I push it up the hill, and I'm like, hey, Dad. He's like, he makes that face. Him and Joe make the same face when I'm like, something's wrong with it. They just, this like, I just saw you right. It was just fine. Like, what do you mean something? You were just right. Like, they make the same. It's really funny. The disappointment, the utter like bewilderment, and like it really. It's just like, how did she do that? Like, I'm always out of gas, and like, I want to go fast. Like, you got to twist that throttle if you want to go fast. And then you twist the throttle, it shoots gas. I did learn that. I learned what carburetors do. Sort of, maybe. I don't know. I still have no idea. Anyway, so Dad wouldn't let me take the fender. He said, no, that wouldn't work. And Logan got home and he was fucking pissed. He's still pissed about that, actually. Like, we're 42 years old. He's still pissed about that. Oh well. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, it's not like I was like, I'm going to ride his bike and break it. I mean, I just said I was going to ride his bike and jump it faster than he did, which I did. I didn't realize that I was going to break it. But yeah, so that was it was breaking my brother's motorcycle when we were, I was probably like 12 or 13. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So anyway, woo! End of story.
Well done.
We had a conversation the last time we rode together, and it's that Nicole really needs a job where she tests things because people need to know the limits of whatever it is they've created, and she will find the limit and then go beyond it with no question and happily. She, don't give her the why, just give her, please test this, and she will fucking test it, that's for sure.